Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play. I hope you like what you see. Maybe hit like and subscribe, and I would love to know what you like to stitch. And if you're a returning stitching friend, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with me and talk cross stitch. So thank you. And are you working on something fun? I'd love to know about that too. I have 11 projects for you today, 2 finishes, 2 full finishes, which are not part of the 11, and a start, because you know I have to always have a start, especially if I'm going to finish 2 pieces. But before we talk about all of that, I have the giveaway winner I wanted to announce. So last week I had talked about the shindig, the Great Australian Cross Stitch Shindig of 2026. And Lisa, who is the grandmaster of all things and has created this, has sent me this packet, sent me this picture and said that she would love to give away one of these to one of you. And so I asked you to say the word shindig, and whoops, I'm going the wrong way in my thing. Now this is a different comment picker, so I don't have all like the fancy little fun little things, but Lace 5802, Lace 5802, you were the winner. And great accomplishments with Whip Warriors in January. Go for February. If you could get back to me, if you would send me to my Gmail address what address you would like Lisa to send the packet, because it's a digital packet, and then I will pass that on to her. So congratulations, and I would love to see any of them when you stitch them up. All right, so thank you for all of you who joined in on that and put your name in the hat, so to speak. Yeah, I know, I don't even know where my blue bowl is. I think it's here somewhere. If you've been here a long time, you'll know what the blue bowl is. Maybe one day it'll make an appearance if I can find it. I don't know where it is. So anyway, I'm going to show you before I start my works in progress and all of that stuff. I'm going to show you one of my full finishes because I'm super excited. I stitched this one, I think it was last year. I didn't actually finish the back yet. Ooh, it's definitely, it needs some felt. I had seen Mary stitch this. Remember anybody I mentioned? Oh, you know what? And I need to give myself a set of notes here for that. Oh, look at that. I have a piece of paper handy to go here. Mary, I saw Mary stitch it, and I absolutely loved it. And I had to stitch it as well. This is, maybe a heartstring sampler. I'm not 100% sure. It's Jeanette Douglas, I don't know. If you want me to check, I can check. But I went with this on a Vintage Country Mocha because I really wanted the colors to pop. I cannot remember if I changed any colors. I should have looked at my book beforehand, but I was just so excited to get this one finished. I thought about putting this one in the scrapbook, as I have another Valentine's in the scrapbook. Hopefully this month I can show it to you. But I decided when I pulled out what I have for my shelves here, I don't have much of anything to put on the shelves. I mean, I can take the scrapbook pages out, which I do, and I will. But sometimes it's fun to have some small little other stuff. And I have my February house, which I'll show you later on this month. So I said, you know what, I want another leaner. So that's what I did. I just made it a quick and simple, easy leaner. I tried to find the red that was the closest to this. And then I thought about doing another layer with a deep navy blue, or, you know, kind of maybe even like a felt layer. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? I don't think I need it. I just could go just with this. So that's what I did. So that is my full finish, the first one of 2 for February. Remember, for February, I am doing full finish February to see, I mean, it's not like I'm going to have an earth-shattering amount of full finishes. I mean, I have a big drawer of them, but you know, even if I get a couple a week and just kind of pick away at it, that's something. And actually putting it on my radar is something to do each week means I kind of won't forget, you know, instead of just going to stitch, which, you know, is usually what happens. I enjoy it so much, I just go and stitch. Alrighty, so that's the first full finish. I'll wait maybe a couple of whips here before I show you the next one. So let's start with a stitchy finish. Now everything except one piece will be on 18 count that you're going to see. So I'm not going to keep saying 18 count, but when I get to the 16 count piece, I will let you know. Alrighty, so this piece came from the Just Cross Stitch 2024 Holiday Edition. And let me just look to see who the designer was. I'm almost sure I know, but I don't want to say the wrong name. So let me... Oh, I thought I knew what page it was on. Let me go to the back and see what picture. There we go. It is Three Tiny Owls is the designer, and it was called Peaceful Path. And I don't need to show you the picture from the magazine because I have a finish. This was a full coverage piece, as you can see. So I just picked a scrap of I don't know what, out of my bin of scraps. And I decided to go, instead of with a white, with the light blue. I had it. And I said, you know, there's a lot of blue here, and why not kind of, in case you can see anything in between, it's, you know, it's going to show up not quite as stark white between. But to be honest, the coverage is, this one's pretty good actually. So I stitched this one with Karen, who finished it quite some time ago. And I am super excited to get this one done. I will most likely, I'll just, you know, finish it tight as probably an ornament, maybe a nestler. That would be cute to nestle. That's a nestler. If you go, I introduced what I am calling nestlers in my floss mess, and I don't remember what day it was, but it is in floss mess. And so it's my take on a pillow, since I don't sew, and I was kind of confused by the videos. So I kind of said, I'm going to do it my own way. So this one will either be a hanger with an ornament, or it might be more of a nestler. We'll see. Depends on how much, if I have extra fabric to go over what I put on there. But yay, that one's finished. I really wanted it to be done because it wasn't this past Christmas, but the Christmas before that we had started it. And so it was hanging on a little bit long now. I'm just going to, not that I will forget to mention Karen, because Karen and I, along with Mary, stitched so many things together. I want to make sure I get her credit. But I kind of wanted it finished, you know. And I did use it for I Spy. So I Spy, you know, is a game that I create. I've talked about it before. And one of the prompts was snow/ice. So that one clearly has plenty of snow. And I did work on it at the beginning kind of daily until it got finished. There was one day that got a lot of work on it. And then each day of the month I was working on it until I believe it might have been yesterday, or I don't remember which day I finished it. So it's done. Yay. Okay, so let's give you a whip at this point, a work in progress. This is Real Comfort from Modern Folk Embroidery. And I really, really enjoy this one. Now, I am not stitching the below part here. I'm not doing any of the alphabets. I'm stopping it here. I did not do the words up here. If I choose to do them, I will do them below, kind of like how you give credit at the end of, say, a quote or something or other. So that's my idea with that one. And here it is. Now this is Bliss from Fabrics by Stephanie, the fabric, and I used a floss from Pirate and Robin. And I love kind of like, to me, this is a tone-on-tone sort of effect, and I really like it when I use the dark floss to the light fabric. However, I do have some light flosses that I would like to explore that a bit more. My Cinderella piece is the only one where it's reversed, dark fabric, light floss. So I think maybe I will try some more of those. I really do like that look. And so I did some leaves, especially over here. I kind of started to work here. This side is completely done. I only have leaves right here to do. And I did a large proportion of this. I had just the little teeniest of the starts on that, just to see, you know, how everything was going to look with that. And then look at how beautiful the design of the roof is. And I think every single one of the buildings has a little bit of that design in it. So I am really thrilled. I love that look. And so it'll be really pretty when it's done. I think this might be the row. So there's, underneath the houses, there's kind of like one straight line. There's another straight line, which I'm not going to do. That was kind of the border that surrounded the alphabet. I don't feel like I need to do that. So this line will go all the way across, and then I will decide underneath. So you're looking, if I do the words, they'll be about right here is where it stops. If I don't, it'll come up a little bit closer. But I love it. And, this one just comes out just because I'm sure I could find different prompts for it here and there. And I sometimes do. But honestly, I just so enjoy it that very often it's already out for the week because I've already worked on it. So that's always fun. All right, so this next piece here is a full coverage, but it's a smaller one. And I stitched this with Karen and Mary and Karen D and Amy and Rachel Q. And it is Butterflies 2 from Durene Jones. And then many of you have stitched some of the other ones, and I just love the colors. So I will not start another one until this one is finished. And I am at 45-ish% on it. However, I do like some of the other ones as well. They're very pretty. I love the bright, fun colors on this one. And I filled in a little bit everywhere. I did some of the, I did very little of the outline. I did quite a bit of filling in with, especially this flower, including the inside of it. I might have also done the inside of that. And you can tell I carried a little bit of the yellow. If I had extra in the strand, I did carry it a little bit extra, and that was the case, I believe, with this flower as well. So with my full coverage, like I said, everything's on 18 count, and this will count for the next full coverage that you see later on in my list here. The 2 strands over 1 full cross is how I like to do my full coverage. So there it is. And I am just I really enjoy this one. I pull it out, when I wanted some bright, fun colors. And, it's got that combination of block stitching and confetti. I think, oh, you know what? You're not going to be able to see. I also did some white in the butterfly. You can obviously see here because it's surrounded, but right now you can't. So down here, I also did some butterfly work. But, so that, sometimes you get a little bit of the smaller chunks, and then I'll go and do a bigger chunk of color somewhere. So it's a nice kind of variation between the two, so you get a chance to do a little bit of everything, depending on what you want to do. So this one will be a while yet. I'm not even sure this will be a 2027 finish. We'll see. We'll see what 2026 brings, whether or not I decide I want to kind of focus a bit more on it in 27, or if I just wait till 28. We'll see. This morning we have Blueberry Hibiscus. It's quite lovely, actually. There's a couple of different types of blueberry hibiscus I've tried, and sometimes some of the tea companies will put things like stevia in it, and I find I get a kind of a bitter aftertaste from that, so I actually don't like the sweetener being in it, and this one does not have any, so I actually prefer it a little bit better. Let me show you my second full finish. I'm going to put this over here, actually. And this way we can have this area. It was empty because I was showing full finishes. So remember last week that I stitched that little love? It was from the Just Cross Stitch magazine, the winter one. However, I didn't do, this would continue down. It was kind of like, think of like a carrot shape, right? And I decided I wanted to make it more of a rectangle. And this was part of my Perle Cotton Valdani experiment. And I made it into an ornament because, again, as I was looking at my Valentine's, I have 4 little ornaments now. They're part of the, there was a 3 set from Primrose Cottage, and then a kind of a standalone from Primrose Cottage. I don't know if you can buy those as sets anymore. They're kind of like the postage stamp holiday ones. You might be able to buy them singly now as opposed to a set if you don't like all of them. However, that's it. That's all I have is those 4. So I said, well, I need to do some more. And this one was part of that. And I really, really like how it turned out. I had this fun pink fabric that I added, and I actually did do pink felt on the back. So this one I did fully kind of complete. not leave. The thing with the leaners, a lot of times they stand like that, right? Versus on my Hirschner's tree over there, the wire tabletop tree, you can see the back because depending on which angle you're coming in, if you're coming in the room or whatever, however I want these to have the backing versus the leaner is going to go up against the wall. So you will not see it at all and you'll never know except when I show you. All right, let me see if I can get that even because I know if you're watching and it's not, sometimes that will bother you, right? There we go. I think that's pretty good. All right, so those are my 2 full finishes, yay, for the first week of February. Moving on. This next piece was my January daily 100 stitch a day piece, and I was close to, I thought 3,500 stitches. I actually was at 3,500 when I talked to you last week, so I didn't quite get to 4,000, but it is Peace on Earth, and it is from Lila Studio. So I gave it, well, Friday and Saturday were still part of January. So it still got daily stitching then. And then I think February 1st, I gave it one last chunk. So that's what it looks like now. Currently, I haven't changed anything except that W. I made that a darker blue because I'm going to do all the letters in one color. And here it is. In the end, I ended up with I just got to 15% before I put it away for the month, or for now, I guess is the way I'm looking at it. I didn't stitch on it, but I did pull out Summer Quaker. I think I might do, let me write down Andrew. Andrew is back with his Whip into Shape. He's doing it a little bit differently, and I'm not going to ruin the surprise if you haven't watched his video yet. And so I think I might make Summer Quaker my Whip into Shape piece. I believe it did get some time right before he ran the marathon in November. And so I think it's time to give it some love. I pulled it out yesterday thinking I might bring it with me somewhere. And I said, no, I have to concentrate too much. So I didn't do that. But back to Peace on Earth. So this is basically your winter Quaker. And so that's the different color. That's the only thing that's changed. Everything else is called for. And I talked about my dilemma up here, which is why I went down this way. Actually, in this light, it's not too bad. You can see the 2 shades a little bit better. Although in person, when I flip it, it's a little bit harder to see. So the bottom part is that, and then the next motif, a Quaker, half Quaker, is supposed to be that green, and then it goes back to this one. And I'm really concerned that it just might look like the same. So I came down here, I'd finished this Quaker, and I started to stitch this one. Now that's in a blue. Now I am thinking where this outer line of Quaker is supposed to be, I might switch it to this blue. That Quaker has, I believe it's this, is it that one? Yeah, I think it is. Or is it the darker one? It has, I think, this color in it for trees, and then snow and snowflakes, and then some green trees. So I think that they go nicely next to each other. So I think they'll be fine in here. So I will probably, next time I pick it up, well, I might finish this first. I might try that and see how it's looking. And it's purely just because I'm just don't necessarily want what looks like the same 3, especially because then you have this big section right here, right? So I thought it might be fun. If you look at the chart, you've got up here, you've got green and then the blue, and then on this side, she's got the blue and the green. And then down here, she's got 2 blues and a green. So this is the only one up top here that doesn't incorporate blue outline Quaker-wise. So I'm thinking I might do the blue here and here, which would then be opposite. And so you'd still have that kind of look with the colors. Although that one is a darker blue, whereas the sides are the lighter. So maybe I'll pull out the darker. I don't know. I'll do a little playing with the blues. So you may see a slight difference And it's not that I don't like her color choice. It's just my flosses, and it's just the way it is. This is Winter Wishes by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I just went with a very light gray in the end. The blues, I was having trouble with the blues and the blues kind of fading in. And I'd rather something like the Snowflake, and it doesn't ghost as much in person, ghost than some of the bigger elements that will show up with the blues. So there we go. So Peace on Earth will go away for now. I really feel 15% and just under 4,000 stitches, basically giving it kind of a daily goal of 100 stitches a day for the month of January. Obviously, I got slightly more than that, right? Because there's 30, so say I did 32 days. Because, you know, I finish a thread, or if I'm watching something and it's near the end, maybe I'll say I'll just do one more thread. It kind of depends. But, you know, for the most part, I thought that was really good progress. And now I feel good about putting it away because it's going to get some work easily. All right, next is Winter Cometh. I feel I am not necessarily a seasonal stitcher where I only stitch in season. However, I really do like some of these. I'm making this monochromatic. This one and the Winter Sampler, I'm really liking those winter monochromatics. And so I am having fun pulling them out, kind of rotating each week and for challenges and things like that. So I think you're just going to keep on seeing them. Now this one, you know, is part of a larger experiment. With this one, I am stitching all 4 of them on different color fabrics. This is the last of the 4 to get started, and I'm using DMC 319 Floche for all of them, and just changing out the fabrics. And oh, it would help if I do it right side up, right? Okay, there we go. Oh, so much fun. I did do some of the border because it's easy, but it's very repetitive. And that border is all 4 sides, but I think it's going to look so cool when it's done. And then I did pretty much all of this as well. I don't think I had any of that before. And so this is getting ready to go into the large bird element here. That's probably, let me see the chart. Yeah, so this is halfway. It's about here's the halfway mark. So you can see it's not going to be much bigger than that. This is, what is this one? Morning Fog from Bestitchme. And I really like this one quite a bit. Isn't that a pretty color? It is blue, but it has tones of other things in it as well. And I'm really liking the 319 on it. And with the Floche, remember, it's a 1-stranded floss. And I like it on 18 count. I know for some people it's a little too tight, but you know, I do like, usually I do 2 strands of DMC regular on 18 count. So I do like that kind of fluffy kind of look. So we are solidly in winter, both on the calendar and how it feels. So I'm sure I'll pull this one out at least a few more times before the end of the season. And then of course, whoops, let me put the chart in the bag here so I have everything together. And those 4 will go into I think a 2-page scrapbook collection. I'm hoping to put 2 on each page, so that when you open it up, it'll be just like a open spread and you can see all 4 seasons at one. Okay, next one is my other full coverage piece. And so it is the beginning of the month. Now this is the piece that I'm kind of focusing on. It's not going to be a finish this year. However, it will get good progress if I give, you know, a good 1,500 stitches a month on it. Did I remember? I didn't write down any percentages. I believe at like 45, 46% on this one. And it is, now you're seeing a diamond painted version of it because this is retired. This is Minnie Watching the World Go By. It was charted by Heaven Earth Designs. The artwork is by Lucy Pittaway, and all Lucy Pittaway was retired by Heaven and Earth Designs. You can get different various versions of some of her artwork through Bothy Threads now. So that's what was the only picture I was able to rescue because I hadn't realized that Lucy Pittaway was getting retired, so I didn't snag anything else beforehand. And here we go. Yay. So I am still kind of doing a little bit of confetti-ish up at the top, although most of the blue is almost all filled in at this point of the sky and the clouds. Now, I did not work on this side this time around. I think, because this will come out again this week, I think I got about 700 to 750 stitches on it this week, and I decided not to do any on this side. So maybe next week when I pull it out again, I'll do some more and do it on that side. So this is really the side I worked on. And I would pick, what I would do especially was I was picking up here, I'd pick some of the different kind of greens. I think I did it with a little bit of the brown too. And then that would translate down here somewhere. So I'd pick off a couple of the pieces of the confetti, and then I would continue doing some of the larger chunks down here. And then I did kind of pull out, this kind of tree got work in, and when I started that one, I was also, I think I was filling in some confetti here. I don't know which one came first, to be honest with you, but then you can see I was able to add more here, and any colors there, I came down and worked on this one as well. So I kind of mixed it between some of the greens and then some of the reds and oranges. And like the butterflies, it's 2 strands over 1 full cross. And this is gotten looser now. It's maybe still a little, not as soft as some of my pieces, but it's definitely easy to work with. I do stitch in hand, and including full coverages, which I know can get a little unwieldy. What I will probably do, if I stitch over here to pull in some of that, is a lot of times I'll roll up this side and I'll put one of those magnets, the cable magnet thingies. And it's not perfect, and it certainly does kind of slip, but it does help a little bit. So that's where it is. And yeah, so you will see this one again next week, because I do want to give it a little bit more time. I looked, and I think last month I probably only did about 12 to 1300 stitches. I did not get to the 1500. Kind of depends on what's going on and what other things I want to stitch on. So I probably will not pull out another full coverage until I get to my 1700 on this one, unless I'm doing something like a butterflies or a small kind of full coverage. So we'll see. Alrighty. Now this next piece here, you know, when I start a piece, I do like to work on it a little bit extra and get another kind of batch of stitching in the next time week, so that I can get some more done. And so this is There Is Room by The Proper Stitcher. And that's exactly what I did. Was I decided that I wanted to add another, 300-400 stitches, and I'm really pleased. Now it's got a nice little start. The entire corner element is done. I've started this top element and then over here as well. And I was thinking if I'd had more time, I might have jumped in here just to get some more to kind of count off of, but I did not. But I am really, really enjoying it. Now this is, I'm using Threadworks, I believe, on this one. That looks, does that? No, it's not. I believe it's Stitchy Stuff Co. Now that I say that. Let me just look in the bag real quick. Let me see. Nope, it is Threadworks. I am using, what number is it here? 10244. And this is Seafoam by, right? Yep, Fabrics by Stephanie. And isn't that a really, really pretty light green? I was thinking, I kind of like this quite a bit. I might want to get some more of it. I am in Stephanie's Fabric of the Month Club, so sometimes she does do her regular line. Very often she does in her Fabrics of the Month Club, which is fine by me because I love her fabrics. So she doesn't watch. I need to send her a note and say, please, can you do Seafoam as one of the summer Fabric of the Months? I love it. So that's where we are. And so this one now, except for challenges or if I feel like it, again, it's monochromatic. And you know how much I love that. There is Heather, who just came out with a video this week. Yay, I so thoroughly enjoyed watching it. Heather is doing this year. She's got kind of a 12-month kind of theme thing going on. And not every month am I following along with her. However, in March, she is doing Monochromatic March, and I am all over that. I have to count. I don't know how many monochromatic pieces I have. I'm kind of curious, to be honest with you. So you will see. I think my goal will be to try, depending on how many there are, to pull out all of my monochromatics during the month of March. You know, obviously mixed in with other things as well. So we'll see if that actually works out. All right, now this next piece here is my second finish. Yay! And it's a small one. This was the set. Oh, and gosh, I think it's Sunflower Stitches on Etsy. This was the set that I had gotten, and which one did I start with? Let's see if, there we go. I was working on that top one right there. Now, this was part of my Valdani experiment because the 18 was pretty tight because it was Valdani 8. So actually it was very tight on 18. I decided to try 16 count and see what it would look like on that. It's still a little tight, but it's doable. I think 14 count would be a breeze, but you can do it on 16, and I didn't feel like I was pulling a lot, and I got a finish. And I just love, look at this. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Look at this color in this kind of ball of floss. Look at the different variations. It's gorgeous. It really, really is gorgeous. I might have to pick up some 14 count and do something fun with it. But here we go. That's what it came out to be. And you can see I sort of sometimes stitch one stitch at a time, but like if I was doing, you know, the top row, the top row of the E, I'd go across and then come back. I wouldn't do 1X at a time. But you do see the different variation of colors in it, and it's really, really pretty. So this one will be made into an ornament as well. So yay, I'll have another ornament for my little tabletop tree. Figure if I can dig away at it a little bit, chip away at it each year, then it will be a nice full tree. I mean, the thing is there's wasted space on those. I wish there was a better way in some cases to hang even more on there. I haven't figured that out yet. If you've got one of those tabletop trees from Hirschner's and you're able to load it up with stuff, let me know how you do it. Alrighty, so this next one here, I do have the printed version, but I'm going to show you, especially this first time, the actual digital piece of it. This is my start. I wanted to start this one and I decided February because it's red. Let's go for it, right? Abecedarian in red from Yasmin's Made with Love. And I know you're looking at it and saying, Laura, you take alphabets out of everything. What are you doing? And yes, my friends, I am stitching every one of those alphabets. Every single one. I have a hank of this floss from Stitchy Stuff Co. And I'm a little worried that it's not going to be enough. But you know what? I'm living on the edge a little bit here. And here it is. And yes, I ended up doing something that was pretty neutral because I just really, let me show you it's not going to look super pretty. Like some people have it and it's all pretty and I don't do that. I don't waste my time doing that. And it's not a waste. I shouldn't say that. I don't spend the time doing it because I'm kind of like, I just want to stitch. I haven't even cut it or anything. I've just been, here it is. It's called Firecracker by Stitchy Stuff Co. Isn't it pretty? And I pulled out the different kind of reds that I had, and this one, I wanted it a little bit brighter. And so I went with that one. This fabric is Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim. Now, I was hesitant to do this one because I had tried Fiber on a Whim one other time, and I really, the feel in my hand wasn't super comfortable. It was a bit softer and it was pulling, you know, threads wise a little bit. But I said this was really pretty with the red floss, and so I said I'd give it a try, and I actually really am enjoy stitching on it. So I'm pleased that I decided to give this piece of Fiber on a Whim a try, and I hope to get some more stitching on this week because, you know, second week after a new start, I do like to do, and I am just going to enjoy it, and I have no idea how long it'll take. Yasmin's patterns, this one went into Pattern Keeper, fantastic, no problem. And I think I just assigned like 321 as the DMC color for it, so it will show up as I cross it off. And yeah, I am going to really enjoy that one, I think, as I go along with the stitching. So I think that's going to be quite a pleasant one. And oh, look, another monochromatic. So you'll probably see that one in March too. Oh, my friends, if you're not fans of monochromatic, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to skip my videos in March altogether. I hope not, but oh boy. Okay, so this next piece I pulled out because I felt like it, and it hadn't had some time on it. And it is the Snow White, I don't know if she's calling these tears or trees. I think they're trees. The Snow White tree from Tiny Modernist. If you've been watching, she has a Neverland tree. I think it's Peter Pan, right? I don't know if it's an actual market release or if it's coming out before market. If it's available now, I don't know. I was a little unsure about that. Which was cute. So I may at some point stitch it. However, I have Alice in Wonderland in this one going. I cannot start anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, this one I bought as a digital, and I was able to put it in Pattern Keeper, which makes it significantly easier for me. And so I seem sometimes to pull this one out a little bit more often than Alice, but I'm going to make myself, next time I want to do one of these trees, I'm going to pull Alice out because Alice was started before this one. You can see we have a lot of floating hats. I did all of the hats for the Seven Dwarfs. I did a couple more faces. I know they look without eyes. They look kind of creepy. This guy got part of his clothes, and then I was working on it, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was Wednesday. And I ended up I filled in this entire, the outline. I had the light green I had to do, and then I did some more down here, which you probably cannot see because it's fading in. When I put the dark on there, it will look fine. I also did some over here, and then I started those flowers over there as well. My one concern, this blue here on this dwarf, his hat, I don't know which one that is. Well, they don't have their little names on them, so I don't know. I'm concerned that same blue is her dress, and then also part of the bluebird that's above her. So I may have to do a little bit of changing on that. I think it's fine here. I mean, he'll have, once his full eye is in and the rest of his body, it'll in person you can see it. It doesn't ghost as much on the screen, but it's just not quite as, in your face as all the other ones, right? So I'll kind of have to do some stitching and then deciding and whether or not I have to pull anything out and change the colors a little bit. This was an opal that didn't have a name, and I thought it was pretty, and I didn't have any more of the blue ice at the time, so I couldn't use that opal. But there it is, and that's okay because maybe all of them on the same. I mean, both Wizard of Oz, which is done, and Alice, which is not, they're both on the opal blue eyes. So it might be fun that I've done a different one here. And I really like the Poe one. At some point, I'd like to stitch that one. And Peggy, oh gosh, I don't know when it was. It's finished at this point. I'm going to write her down, though, because Peggy has some of the best sense of color. She chooses fabulous colors of fabric with her pieces, and she chose kind of like a type of pink to go with the Poe one, and it looks phenomenal. So I've got the way she's got it finished in my head. I'm not sure I could stitch it any other way, to be honest with you. But Peggy is a master with color of fabrics, and I probably said that before, but it's so pleasing when you see her pieces, how the color of the fabric accentuates the pattern itself, and so enjoyable. All right, my very last work in progress is Gentleman Quaker from Jardin Privé, and I was looking to see. I did do a couple other I Spies, but I just forgot to mention them. The Love, that was a small project. No, not that one. The one I finished. Forget that one. That was already done. The little one that said love and the little envelope. That one was the small project. And then Watching the World was the letter E, because they did it for you, EWE, since there were sheep on there. I always usually do eyes or elbows, things like that, which probably would have been something like this. this one. But I thought, ooh, there's sheep. Why not change it up? So if you have any patterns with sheep on it, then there you go. There's your letter E for I Spy. I am doing my own, I'm doing black floche on this one, DMC black floche, and then I picked my own color. I don't know what it's charted with. I don't remember. Oh, just it's a DMC that it is 931, which is a pretty, I did something that was very close to that, to be honest with you. I just, for fun, I wanted to try the floche and then the kind of over-dyed flosses together to see what it's like. If you are new, I like to kind of do little kind of experiments with flosses and fabric sometimes. And so that was what this one was. And here we are. And you will see it looks different than the original because, as usual, I'm not stitching this alphabet. Now, there are letters here. I could have somehow done another design, but I do plan on stitching that plus the Lady Quaker. And I am doing my initials on this one and Mo's initials on this one. Now, having said that, and I kept putting it off, doing other things, and I said, let's just get that stitched. Mo has 2 M's in his set of initials, which are like the widest of the letters, and then even the O was kind of wide. So if I had been a better planner, and if you are planning on doing something like this, I would suggest maybe trying this. I should have, well, I don't know, I guess there's no should haves. I could have, if I'd thought about it, moved this slightly over because you have a little bit of wiggle room here, right? So I could have moved this over, say 2 or 3 blocks, and then that would have moved the letters over, because what's happened is this is longer than what is charted with the ABC part. So this has gotten moved over. I think it'll be like 2 or 3 blocks. So what I will do is I will stitch this large piece and this, and then come down here. I'm not going to count anything off of this because that is this piece here, which I've already done a good portion of it, is counted off of this stuff. So where it comes down is a little bit slightly different. It would have come down a little bit closer to this flower, but it looks fine. There was nothing that I had to readjust in that sense. Everything's still gonna fit fine. This one will just be another block or 2 away from the element over here. But this was kind of hanging over me. I really wanted to get that done because I wanted to kind of come over here and get the whole top part finished. So I'm pleased that I just decided to buckle down and do it. So I did all of that. There was a lot of kind of counting and a little bit of angst and trying to figure out what to do before I got to it. And then I did all of this element, and then I did have to fill in a flower or 2 over here as well. I had a blue one that I had not done. This is Benevolent Buttercup from Those Missing Stitches, and I have enough, because I have a large piece of it, that I'm also going to stitch the Lady Quaker. What's it called? My Lady's Quaker from Jardin Privé as well. I'm going to stitch that one on here as well because I really would like them to be a 2-page open spread scrapbook collection. I think that'll be fun. So, but that's some time away. I'm going to get this one completely finished, probably cut off the fabric, I think, before I even start the Lady Quaker. I don't know if I'll have enough room down here or if I'll do it on this side. So we'll see. I do my very best to save as much fabric and use, because, you know, obviously the more scraps I have, the more I can use them for smalls. I want to do some bookmarks for trading cards, all those kinds of things. So I do like to have even thin scraps, smaller scraps that some people might get rid of. I can do a trading card on it sometimes. So that's why I always like to, there's a lot of kind of mental math sometimes in figuring out my fabric choice, where I'm going to stitch on the fabric, because I want to make sure I get as much out of it as I possibly can. So that is my stitching for this week. Now, what are my plans? Oh, before I do that, I want to show you. So a lot of, this is not a new whatsoever idea. A lot of stitchers especially with like their book a days or some of their other things, have bought those small, the small printers that have, that you can just, you know, it's almost like you're printing a sticker, right? So you put, they take a picture of their stitching, a lot of times their finishes, right? And then they run it through that. And it's a teeny tiny sticker that they can put on their book of days or whatever journal. I know Heather is doing that this year. I believe, does Colorado Cross Stitch do that? I'm not, I think, but I'm not going to say for sure because I don't trust my memory on that one. But Kathy also, and I'm going to put down Kathy, I believe she also does it. And she has, I think, a book a days. So I think she puts it in there. So I had thought about, and I didn't do it last year, but it was really kind of in my mind to do it last year. I thought about doing that for kind of my finishes and then other stuff that could be fun. And I have 2 places where I keep my like kind of stitching info. This is my Commit 30 kind of calendar. So this is the one I use. I do all of my daily stitching and what the numbers and everything and all that goes in here. And then this one here is my challenge notebook. And so I've done, I'm going to add different pictures to them. And I thought it'd be fun just to show you a little bit what I'm doing with some of them. So for example, on this piece here, this is the week that I finished April Cottage. So what I did, these are regular pictures from, I think it's Walgreens, because that's just the place I have the account for. So what I did with these is I made a collage sheet. I mean, certainly you can print them off full size if you want full sizes. You can do all sorts of things, but you can make collage sheets and you can make them, you know, an 8x8, 10x10, 8x10, 4x4, whatever. So you can make things bigger and smaller however you want. So I made a collage sheet of some of the different stitches I did. Where's the other one? So this one here, where I finished the love one, I put that one, and you can see that's a bigger size than what the April Cottage was. And then I also want to, in this one, kind of just do some fun stuff. So this is regular size pictures, kind of like regular scrapbooky. And there we have Bella. Sometimes I call her Belle, but and there's the fun staticky picture. This was her out in the snow the first, when we had the snow the other couple weeks ago. And there's her with a little snow on her. And then I had this paper because I was like, I didn't have anything else to put there. And so kind of in the way of doing like a scrapbook block, I just did paper there. So I'm starting to add pictures to this. I'm going to do both life stuff and things like that, fun stuff, as well as stitching. And then on this one, this was part of the collage I made. So that's my blessing sampler. So I put that one, a picture of that in this challenge book. Now, I don't think I'm normally going to put all of these finishes and things in here because I don't know if I'll have enough pages to do all of that, because this book is set up all the months, right? So I know how much pages or how many pages I have and all that kind of thing. Versus here, it's 160 pages, and some months will have more things than not. However, when I did January, I had a blank page. And so I ended up adding, so here we have, that was a picture of my full finish, the scrapbook page. And then here's April Cottage in Love. And I had a little section there. So we have a little sticker, and this is washi tape. And I just made it match. A lot of times with some of these books, I don't do it with all of the, let me see. Here at the beginning, I do it a little bit more. But for example, here on this page, I didn't do any because it's fine. But sometimes when you turn the page, it needs a little reinforcement. And so that's what I do. I add some washi tape there. And so I'm going to have fun adding different pictures. And if I have, you know, extra space, there'll be pictures that go into this book as well. But I definitely want to add more pictures to this. And I think it'd be so fun kind of looking through it as well, because I do keep all of these for now. I mean, at some point, whenever they're going to probably get thrown out, but it's just fun to have them. It's kind of like combining kind of junk journaling with my stitching plans and things and stuff like that. So I thought adding life stuff will be fun too. So that's kind of a fun way that I'm using some of pictures of my finishes or decorating my different notebooks, because I like to add different fun stuff. Stickers and washi tape is my new, I love using washi tape. And it's comes in so many colors and designs and this and that, and you can have so much fun with it. So that's what I'm really using a lot of, decorating my pieces. So as I go along, if I have more fun stuff to show you with that, I will. Alrighty, so back to plans. So this weekend, starting today, Saturday and Sunday, we are doing the Stitch Spotlight, hosted by myself, Karen, and Mary. So you pick a piece for the next 3 days, and now I'm not going to be monogamous on that. I will do some each day, but it won't be my only stitch. And over the course of, but you can, if you want to stitch monogamously for those 3 days, go for it. And it's just kind of like, how many stitches on this piece can I get if I'm spotlighting it for the weekend? If you are doing just a reminder, this was inspired by Whip Warriors. Doing this, you have to follow their rules for their event in the Feisty Focus. So doing this the low-key my way is not what will get you threads in Whip Warriors. So just kind of throwing that out there. If you're a part of the group, make sure if you're doing that event, you read it, you look at it, and you follow their directions. If you just want a non-competitive just because, or you're not part of the group, I did put an event in the Facebook page, as well as I have it in the Patreon. So you are more than welcome to show us pictures and just have some fun with it. But I just want to make sure I'm not misrepresenting anything. This is just purely kind of like a low-key, non-competitive side of stitching part of it. So we have that. Stitch the Olympics starts today from the Naptime Stitcher, so I am doing that. And I did not choose any of my projects. I will choose from day to day. I'll look at the prompt again, and I will choose. And I will do my best to do a different project each day of the Olympics. I think it's 17 days. I don't remember. So hopefully that will be fun if I can do that. And then Whip into Shape. Andrew did 2, I'm not going to say what they are, and released. I'm going to go by steps. That's all I'm going to say. I've got the numbers down. I just haven't started that yet. I Spy and full finishes. So lots of fun stuff going on plan-wise. So I'm super excited. And what are your plans? Anything fun? Are you doing a different challenge that I don't know about? I know Whip Warriors has 2 Olympic challenges. They had one that they put out earlier in the month, and I just saw the other pop-up one come out. I noticed it this morning when I did a quick look online. There's choices there, I know, for Whip Warriors if you're part of that, but I'm sure there's lots of other challenges going on as well. And I always love to hear about them if you're doing some, so let me know. Alrighty, I can say I love it. This is the most fun time of the year, but the first trading card has come in. So Paula, it got here. Thank you so much for participating. You did great. I really enjoyed it. So you did great. I liked it quite a bit. But yes, so this is the fun time, the trading card swap. This is the creation time. I have ideas in my head. I haven't started stitching any yet. So if you haven't either, don't worry. You have until a bit into March before it has to be mailed. But there is a video for trading cards if you want to be a part of this swap, this go around. And I would love to have you. And I would love to see what you create creatively. So anyway, Paula, it came. And then what was really cool though, and I wanted to show you, Paula had sent a little, this is a little reference that I think is fantastic. And I actually went on, I'm going to show you the website. If you're interested, if you're not sure, okay, I can do the stitching part, but I don't have the finishing pieces, or I just want to get some like ephemera because I want to start maybe junk journaling as well and doing things like that. And so Paula sent me this. This is a little tiny kit. It is from youratcstore.com. So this kit has different pieces of ephemera. This is a winter theme. some cardstocks. It has a little charm. It has a little bit of, I'm going to say, I don't know if it's twine. It might be twine. I don't want to take it out. So I went on the website just to show you what it looks like. So let me go there as a quick look, because I did not know this had existed. Because I pretty much just I was just kind of doing my own thing with the trading cards, and I didn't know what was out there. But they have multiple stores. They have an Etsy, but the website is much more comprehensive. And they do have a gallery and a store blog, which I didn't look at yet, so I don't know what those look like. But this is the internet version, your ATC store, and they have all sorts of various types of ephemera that you can just buy on your own. They do have different types of holders or albums for trading cards, and then if you spend a certain amount, a purchase of $10 or more, she creates kits that you get for free. And then I guess people were asking for those kits in general. And so what she did is there's different themes and you can buy a kit. So for example, if you had a lemon design of stitch that you wanted to do a trading card for, this would all come in the little kit. All these little pieces that you can mix and match to do with your... So I'm not affiliated. I don't get anything from it. So there's nothing there that is, but I just thought it was kind of cool. And they have Tim Holtz products. They have collage sheets, flowers, glitter, paints, all sorts of different things. So it's just a reference if you were really intimidated by the finishing part of it. I have bits and pieces, and I have kind of, I just search online because I do a lot of the paper crafting. But this is a way, if you don't want to get a bunch of things, maybe you see something that works for whatever trading card or cards or whatever you do. So that's there if that's a want, and I'll link that in the video just so if you want to check it out yourself. But again, no affiliation. They don't know me. I don't. So I just thought it was kind of cool. Alrighty. Shopping. I did get the Just Cross Stitch Spring in the mail. So I do need to take some notes and we'll do a flip through. And you can see here they did their full coverage. Very kind of cool finish there. They fringed the edges of the full coverage. That is, well, it can either be paper or fabric. I don't know. I don't know which one it is. And they kind of framed it open. So it's really pretty. So we'll do a flip through of this coming up in the near future. So be on the lookout for that. And then I am on a hunt. I'm not sure I've been on a successful hunt, but Mary and I already had this. You would have seen this already. Pink Peacock Sampler. We picked this up last year. This is from Pansy Patch. So Mary and I are starting this on Valentine's Day. If you have it and you want to stitch with us, yay, come and join us. And I do want to do a pink. And so I hemmed and I hawed. They use Gloriana, which I'm not going to do Gloriana silk. They do have a DMC blend of 224, 152. But I decided, let's look at some different thread works. And so of course I went down that rabbit hole of thread works. Trying to see. I guess I'll show it up against the white. However, they're not all look great against that. So let me show you the four that I've chosen that are possible contenders. So I am doing it in the pink, but you can see there are different variations, right? This is the one that is quite light. In fact, it goes almost to a white. There's maybe a bit of a mauve with the pink. I don't know if that's white or gray. So I'd have to find a dark fabric to do that one on. This one I'm kind of leaning towards at the moment. I still have to feel like I have to pick my fabric thoughtfully because it does go lighter. And so I'm concerned if I go too light a fabric, it will go too much. And I don't mind a little bit here and there, but I want to be able to, if I'm spending all of this time, and will stitch when I do these kind of samplers, like the Blackbird sampler, I'm stitching all of it. So including the alphabets and everything. So if I'm going to spend all that time stitching, I want to make sure not half of it's ghosting. So there's that option. This one too might be kind of cool. But look at that variegates quite a bit, which might make my fabric choice tough. And this is a completely different, if I want it more of a kind of a mauve-y pink. But this one is variegated, but not quite as stark, which might make fabric choosing. I probably would go with a lighter fabric because this is a bit of a darker color. So I don't know. Have you stitched this? Did you choose something fun? I like the idea of something that is sort of variegated because I can do the blend, or I can just do it without any blend at all, to be honest with you. But if I don't have to do a blend, I'd prefer not to. So anyway, I'm on the hunt for the pink, and I love using Threadworks, so that's why I went on a hunt. I ordered from Etsy, a couple different shops from Etsy I was looking at that I've gotten Threadworks for, and they are phenomenal for you order it, and by the next day it's already shipped out. So I always have those bookmarked as the first places to look because I appreciate their customer service. So that was it for buying. We got some Threadworks and we got the Just Cross Stitch magazine. Alrighty, so that's it for stitching. If that's all you're here for, then my friends, thank you so much for being here. And if you don't care about the life stuff, then I will see you next time. All right, well, I mean, it's cold. It's cold. It's cold. There is I think he's called Delaware Weather Guy on Facebook, and I like his forecasts. I've talked about when I lived in Connecticut, weather. If you want to know, especially southern New England, if you live in southern New England, especially Connecticut, weather is phenomenal. He's not one that exaggerates. His forecasts are pretty much on the ball. And if you're in anywhere in New England, I would check him out because he talks about whatever. So when I came down here, I was looking for somebody that would be as, kind of comprehensive and everything. And Delaware Weather Guy might not be as comprehensive, but he's very good, and he's very conscientious about trying to get the forecast as right as you possibly can. So I was looking this morning, and he put up a little stat. So if you don't know, the East Coast is going to get a Arctic blast of epic proportions, like probably records will be set. Not only is it going to be cold, but the wind is going to be gusting, at least around us, 40 to 50 miles an hour. So wind chills will be well into the negatives. Apparently, our forecast for this weekend, we are forecast to be as cold or colder than Antarctica. So in parts of Antarctica, it will be warmer than it will be in Delaware this weekend. I was like, I don't like that stat. I don't like that at all. So I'm just holding on. Midweek next week, we might get back to normal temperatures, which would be in the low 40s, high 30s, and it's going to feel like a heat wave, and I cannot wait. But yeah, this weekend is pretty much going to be stuck inside quite a bit. I think we're going to try to grocery shop first thing in the morning on Saturday and then just hunker in because it's too darn cold. And then, of course, poor Bella has to go do her business outside. So it's going to be quick in and out. Let's go. Let's do it type of thing. So, my weekend is not going to be super exciting out and about. We are going to be hunkering in. I had physical therapy this week. I'm, still working on that and doing the best I can. I don't know with the cold. And there was like a little snow that came dusting the other day. And I don't think we're getting any down here tonight into tomorrow, but there's little things. So this week was a tougher week physically, but we'll get through it. Today, when I kind of joked with Mo, because I was walking around this morning and I was like, ooh, pain level's at like a 2. So that's pretty good. I'm going to enjoy that for the little bit of time I get it. You take the victories and the small wins where you can. I do have a TV show though. You know how much I love BritBox and I love my British shows. So this was a show Mo and I had watched the first 2 seasons of, and the 3rd season dropped, but they were dropping it So I waited till the whole season was done because, you know, we binged. It was only 6 episodes. We binged it within a week's time. I was probably even less than a week. And it's called Blue Lights, which is on BritBox. Blue Lights is a police TV show that takes place in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And you've got, you know, both your seasoned police officers plus the new ones that are coming on, and, you know, some life stuff, but a lot of it is more confined to life as it relates to the job and all the challenges and everything that go through to with the job, and then the job itself, right? I would put it on par with Happy Valley in the sense of it's a little bit grittier than a lighter police show might be. Language-wise, I can't remember, and I'm not sure sometimes. I know they say things that I don't know if it's a big swear in British slang or a little one. I don't know sometimes. But if that is, so again, I would say probably on par with Happy Valley. It is more intense along those lines, things like that. But if you really liked Happy Valley, I think you'll like this one. I think the actors and actresses that do the things, they do a fantastic job. We really enjoy the writing. The way it ended, it's clear that there will probably be a season 4. However, it takes forever for it to film. So then I'll probably have to watch season 3 over again by the time season 4 comes out. But it's something, if the other one was something that you enjoyed, which Mo and I really enjoyed Happy Valley, then this one might be something you would also enjoy as well. And yeah, that was our binge for the week. I think the other day we finished episode 5, and of course, at that point, right, when it's before the last final episode, you were like completely on the edge of your seats with it. And we're like, well, that's it. We're not waiting, because we try to do an episode a night sometimes. No, we binged both of those, the 5 and 6 all together, because it's like, no, I am not waiting a day to find out what happens here. So anyway, that is, I haven't had a TV show to recommend in a while. So that is the one that I'm recommending. Other than that, I went to the dentist. It's the one part of my body, I say this all the time, that is actually, knock on wood, healthy, strong, and good. So I was in there. I saw the hygienist. She's lovely. And she actually does a little bit of cross stitching. So that was fun. And I saw the dentist for all of 3 minutes, because he comes in, he looks, he asks me a couple things, and off he goes. But I have to say, the dentist chair was extremely comfortable, and I think we all need one of those in our house, because not one part of my body felt uncomfortable when I was laying in that. And I can't say that most of the time. So I was like, I could take a nap here. This would be great. I'm just going to hang out. I couldn't stitch in it the way you're laid out like that. That's the only thing I would need to fix. But otherwise, it was quite comfortable. But I'm good now for 6 months. So we're good until we kind of laughed because it's so cold now. And the next time I see them, it's in August. I'm like, oof, we're going from one extreme to the other. Yeah, that's really about it. Not a lot otherwise going on. So I will leave you there, because I know there's lots and lots of fun Flosstube to watch. And there'll be, I'm sure, a lot of different Olympic sort of stitching variations going on. So I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody does. All right, my friends, I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. If you are in this Arctic blast, please be careful out there. I mean, all it takes, once you get into those heavy minuses, is to be out for a very short period of time before bad things can happen to you. So please be careful with that. And please watch your pets too. Because those poor little things with their little paws and everything else on the ground is not a lot of fun. But yeah, so take care, and I hope you can be nice and warm and cozy for the weekend if you are in that kind of blast area. And as always, please remember that you are important, you matter, and what you feel, think, say, do, it has worth. You have worth. And so I want to make sure that you always keep that reminder in your heart. And I'm not just saying it, I truly do believe it. All right, until next time, happy stitching.